Part 36 on the Rolls Royce Silver Spirit. So this is just going to be a continuation really of part 35. I'm going to now put this bit in around here to cover up all the electronics for the heaters, and then I need to get the dashboard back in, get the clocks and temperature sensor back in, might put the carpets back in, try to feed the seats, maybe give them another clean, and then try to feed them, get them nice and soft again, because they're a little bit they feel a little bit rough and hard, so that would be nice to feed them. Lots to do, but basically, yeah, just trying to piece back the interior bit by bit. Still have to do all the door panels and stuff. Obviously at another stage I've got to do all the cappings on the doors because they're all flaked off there, so I need to kind of use yacht varnish, sand it back, yacht varnish, sand it back. I presume you have to probably do it about 10 or 15 times to get a nice finish. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just going to be filming on and off really, because I don't think there's going to be anything too interesting. At a later stage I'll have to look into these things here, because these open and close the vents here. But if you have a look, can you see in there, it's not actually doing what it's supposed to do. It's not, I think it should be tighter. This bit here needs to move completely around like that to open up, and then like that to close, or vice versa. But if you have a look, it's not doing it properly. It looks like there's too much movement, so there's a lot of wear there. Same one on this one here, but again, that's not going to be an MOT failure, and the weather's quite warm at the moment, so I'm not going to need these working just purely to take it for an MOT. But yeah, there's still plenty to get on with. So let me get started, and then bit by bit I'll pick up the camera and I'll do a little bit of filming. I think I'm doing a better job as David Attenborough. So now we have the magpie back, but he's brought a friend with him, squirrel. The garden that keeps on giving. I better get my mate Vince mug out. I think he's addicted to it. Okay, success. We now have this middle bit back in. You can see that there's various different screws around the place that hold it in there. One there, one at the back, and 3 around the other side. So now I can kind of stretch the carpet and put where the Velcro bits meet together. And then maybe I can get this centre console back in, and I can also bolt down all this, because you can see we need ones to go from here to here. I told you. Watch. Oh no, it's because I scared him. He was going for it. Oh, hold on, cat's back as well. This is all happening. Let's see if the cat will go for the magpie. There we go. Look, the cat's gonna go for magpie. Oh no, magpie's clever. Oh, and a pigeon as well. My God, it's all happening. It's a healthy looking pigeon, isn't it? Wood pigeon. Well, I've done my yoga for today, so we've done up the 2 screws there, and now the centre console is screwed up right the way down in here as well, just there, and the other side, and it looks pretty, I think it looks pretty straight. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I've got my temperature and clock in now as well, so I think I'm ready for the dashboard. I need to clean this up, but I think I'm going to clean it up when it's in situ. So, do you know what I haven't done in a while? I haven't added any names, have I? Apart from Booze up there. So, let's, I mean, this is going to be maybe not quite as iconic as the grill, but this dashboard here is going to be pretty iconic. So, let's add some Patreon names up on the back of this. Now, speaking of patrons, this is a perfect time to shout out the My Mate Vince Massive, and you can check to see if your name's been added to the back of the dashboard. So the Massive members this month are kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokatansky, Having Fun Repairs, Will Michaelis, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeeps.com, DJVG, Pigsy, Robert from Timsy's Auto Air, Daniel Watson, Zeke C, Anthony Dean, Bazatu, Operation 117, Russ Melanson, Save Our Stuff, Ellis Garbett, Hunter Short Repairs, and Gaspar Heller. So a massive thanks to you guys, and also everybody that supports over on Patreon. So there we have it. Let's get this dashboard in. While I'm waiting for the dashboard to dry, I'm going to start putting this together. So you can see, for example, on the mirror switches here, we have holes, and they're going to line up with these holes here, and this is wood. And once you take off the seat bits there to make it obvious, you know, which is up, down, left and right and stuff, there's this little plate that goes over here, and then it all screws together through here, and it screws into these bits here with tiny little screws. So the metal plate is screwed into here, so we've got a nice finish, and then these are all screwed into the wood here with washers and little self-tappers. So I'm just bolting this down here, and then it's quite clever. So basically the window switches are bolted onto here, and then this whole thing could still lift up, but then it can't because the window switches are bolted down, and then there's a nice chrome bezel that goes on over here to pull this into the window switches. So to remove this, you'd have to undo the chrome bezel, and then it will lift out. And to get access to the bolts here, you have to take out the actual mirror one here, because otherwise you can't get the spanner in there. Right, what I had to do here is I had to slacken these off here because they weren't lining up for the bezel here, and then I put the bezel on to get these in the correct position. I only slackened them off a tiny little bit so you could move them, but there was resistance there. And now what I've done is got the bezels to fit, lifted it up, tightened them up. So now we should be able to put the bezels on here. Yeah, there we go. I'll get my gloves on to do that final bit because you need a little bit of rubber or something, you know, to make them tighten up fully home. Oh, this is going to look so nice. Right, let's get the battery connected, see if it's working. Okay, ignition on, mirrors. Yes, yes. Excellent, that's working. And this side. Fantastic, right, they're working. Now, seats. Yeah, that one's working. That's working. That's working. Back. Forward, excellent, that's working. Now, this one. Yes. Yes, it's going in bits, but I presume again, engine's not on. Maybe it's better with the engine on. Yes. Fantastic, they're working, brilliant. Don't know anything about these memory seats yet. I'll worry about them at a later stage. Right, excellent, so I just need to put there's some screws that need to go down here on both sides. 2 screws this side, and also 2 screws the other side as well. So let's pop those in. And these ones are much easier to get to if you put the seats right way forward. Now this is actually scary. There's one of those Staffordshire Bull Terriers in the garden. I think it's gone in the house. It was just sniffing in that bag. You know, one of those dogs that look not like a nice big friendly Labrador. Where's it gone? A bit wary now. I think it's gone in the house. What is going on? This is just the how on earth did it get in the garden? Don't know where it is. I think it is in the house. There it is. What on earth? What on earth is that dog doing there? Hello. Well, I don't know what to do here now, because I don't know if it's friendly or not. How on earth is there a dog in the garden? Where's it come from? Oh, I'm going to... Where's that come from, Dad?
I don't know. Are you alright?
It looks friendly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wonder where it's come from. Oh, it looks friendly.
I thought that he was with you.
No, not at all. No, I just seen it sniffing in the bag here. Let me go out the front, see if anybody's lost a dog.
Huh?
I'll go out the front, see if anybody's lost a dog.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, luckily it is a friendly dog. Anyway, it's sort of just running around the front. It seems to be going up to anybody, but there is an alleyway next to this house, so what's happened is it's just come through the alleyway and into the garden, so hopefully it will just find its way home. If it's still loitering around in 15 or 20 minutes, I'll call the RSPCA. But then you see, the owner has to know to contact the RSPCA, because there's nothing on the collar, there's no name or anything like that. So it's a bit of an awkward situation, especially if you're not used to dogs. Dog's back in the garden again now. Oh man, he's back again. Hello. Hello, you coming over here? How you doing, alright? How are you? You friendly thing, aren't you? You're a friendly boy. Yeah? Yeah. You like the roller? I think I better phone the RSPCA. Bit of a palaver, if I'm honest with you. Good boy. Good boy. It's massive, isn't it? It's so strong. It jumped up on his back legs and nearly knocked me over. Oh my god. Well, this video's giving you everything. Every kind of wildlife possible. Right, I think I'm going to have to phone the dog warden and find out where you belong, huh? Find out where you belong. Now he's got my footrest. They cost quite a bit of money. No, come on, you're going to ruin that now. No, 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 no. No, come here now. Come here, come here. No, 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 you're not having that. See, I'm wary of him because, well, that's that footrest gone. Let me give him something else to chew on. I think my footrest has had it now. See if I can find him a ball. Right, it's the next day now. The dog finished mauling my footrest and then went on his merry way, and he didn't come back again. Then this morning, my dad rang me to say that the dog was back, but he was going off to mass. I've arrived now and there's no sign of the dog. I have bought a ball and I've bought some dog food, and this time if the dog comes back, I will have to call the dog warden. I did ring them yesterday, but basically they refused to come out unless the dog was with me, and the dog wasn't with me. I thought they would just come to the area and try to find the dog, but obviously life isn't like the movies. So yeah, if it turns up today, then what we'll try to do is maybe bring him into the house and put him in one of the rooms with some food and water, and then we'll get the dog warden out. But hopefully it's made its way home, or somebody's taken him home. Anyway, that's the story with the dog. Let's get this dashboard back on and let's try to get some work done on this car. Hopefully today I won't see so much wildlife and I get some work done. Ooh, 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 it's starting to come together. So I've got this on now. I only had one screw that had the original screw and like cup washer. So that was the original screw but a different cup washer, and this is a different screw and cup washer completely. So what I'll have to do is get a little bit of brown paint and then just paint that up there, and also the washer there, and then they'll blend in a lot more. So that is it. The dash is nearly complete. I just need to put these things back on, but from memory there was no Allen key bits, you know, grub screws to go in there. Right, so these are the things that go on to here. One's very, very scratched up, so I think somebody probably tried to use mole grips or something to get rid of it. But this one here is nice. So what I'll do is I'll put the nice one next to the driver's side, and then the passenger can have the rough one. That's the sort of guy I am. Now, that hole there is slightly bigger than the hole in here. There's actually a hole in here. So I've had a look, and I've got 3.5mm back box screws, you know, for electrical sockets, machine screws, and they appear to fit in here nicely. I mean, I haven't tried screwing them in more than that, but they seem to go in there. I'm not sure if it's the same thread or not, but I've managed to get a couple of turns on it, and also here as well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, they're a little bit big, a little bit small to put in here, but it doesn't really matter, does it? As long as it fills up that little hole, then it's not going to come out. So what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to try, I'm just going to cut a little bit of this off, maybe to there, and I'm just going to grind a little groove in it, or I've left the Having Fun Repairs Dremel tool at home, so I'll get a hacksaw and I'm just going to cut a little groove in it to use it as a screwdriver. So it's not going to be an Allen key thing to remove it, it's just going to be a tiny little grub screw with a flat head in it, and that way then it will hopefully stay in place. I'll give it a go. Okay, so I cut it down to size. It's actually M3, so it might not be electrical back box. And then I just got a hacksaw, and can you see I've just put a groove in the top here. As you can see, it's quite narrow. So I'm going to pop it on, hopefully it will work. Right, so I've gone back on. This one went on nice, and it does appear to be doing tiny movements in here. This one I can get to move on the inside, but it's very hit and miss. I kind of have to like force it like that to get it to do something, but it feels horrible on the hands. One, because my grub screw didn't quite go in far enough, and secondly, it's pretty sharp metal around the place. So what I'm doing is, I looked in the shed, I didn't have a round file, but I've got this. I'm just going to file off the burrs If it doesn't work, it's not a problem. I'll get the Dremel tool on it and it will make short work of it, but I'll see if I can do it with this. Okay, I've filed it down and it feels much better now. It still feels rough compared to this one. This is smooth all the way round, but this one feels like wet and dry paper. So it's not a nice feeling there, but luckily the end of it here is nice and shiny. There was nothing wrong with that bit there. So it feels much better than it did before because there's no jagged edges now. So you're not gonna, you know, rip your finger on it. So yeah, happy with that. And they do appear to be working partially. So it will stop the air from coming through and then allow a little bit of air through. So you know what? It might be enough. Right, I think I'm going to just run a wet wipe over this dash now. And see, things like this here, that will have to be sanded back and painted. Can you see where it's all ripped there? So there's going to be lots of things that need touching up with the white paint. So maybe on bits like this, because you're not sitting on it, maybe I would have to paint all the way across to get a kind of a better finish on it. Right, now the ashtray fits in here, but two things are wrong with it. It's not clipping back because the springs come loose, and also it wasn't clipping in here nicely. When you did open this up, the whole thing lifted like that, and that's because this bit was bashed in here. So I've just used a screwdriver and I've just prized out these two bits of metal here, and that allows me access to in here. Now what I have to do is I have to get this little spring here back in to this bit here, and I can see that there's a marking round here, so that must be where the washer goes. So let me put those back together and then hopefully it will start working again. Right, there we go. You can see now it's not springing up. It's quite a nice action actually. Not that it matters, I don't smoke, but at the same time, you know, when anybody gets in this car, the first thing they're going to do is that. Well, that's the first thing I would do. So next up now I have to put up this knee panel down here, knee roll or whatever it's called. So I'm just going to clean it inside and out. Right, that's that knee roll panel back on now, and it's also got a little light. It's been changed over to an LED. The LEDs in here are all very bright. They're very like a white light, but I could always change them to warm white if I wanted to mimic the look of the incandescent bulbs that would have been in here originally. So yeah, it's finishing it off nicely. Now I noticed the other day that there's a little switch here and it says mirror map, and sure enough, when you hit it, one of them, it will go to here and it will light up this light here, you know, like a vanity mirror, but the other one lights up that front section there. There's two lights there, the back and the front, so it's like a map reading light. And then I noticed that there's one over this side, and I've taken the cover off just now, and basically I thought, how on earth do you turn that on, because there's nothing here? And check this out, I thought this was something with fog lights, but when you pull this one out here, it's supposed to turn on the map reading light, but it wasn't working. So I thought, uh-oh, I wonder, is it the switch here? Because obviously now the dashboard's gone back on, but I've just taken out the bulb and the lamp's gone. I keep calling it a bulb, I should call it a lamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the multimeter, I'm just going to turn the battery on, and then when we pull out that, we should have 12 volts up there. Show you what I mean. If I go to, oh, down, sorry, map, you can see now it's lit up there at the front. Yep. Now on this one here, let's pull it out and see if we have 12 volts up here. So I'm going to go here and here. Fantastic, there you go, 12 volts, so that will work once I change the lamp over. Okay, so I've closed all the doors, and after about 8 seconds or so everything went off. Let's see if it comes on now when I do this. So out here. Oh, okay, I think that's designed to do it. It brings on everything, even the ones out the back. It's just a bit weird how that's not separate. It seems to just come on all the time with this. I wonder, have I got a weird short going on in there? Because now, you know, everything's on, but not the reading lights. Yeah? Let's see, and the mirror light's not on here either. Let me go up to mirror. Yeah, that one works up there. It's a bit confusing now. So if I push this in, it turns them off, so the switch is working. But that should only turn on that, I would have thought. Do you know what, if you own a Rolls Royce and you know the answer to that, if you could let me know, because I don't want to fault find something which isn't actually a fault. It's just a bit weird how it turns on. I can understand it turning on the interior lights. Do you know what, it must be that it when you pull that out, it turns everything on. That does make sense, apart from the reading lights everywhere, but it turns your reading light on to illuminate. That's quite clever, that. I like that, you know. I think it'd be such a nice place to be in the back there. Right, so I'm just sat in the back now, and we have a little switch here. If I do that one, it puts on this interior light and that interior light, but no others. And then if I turn that one on, it puts on this reading light, but nothing else. Now if I turn that one off and go over here, it puts on that light there and that light there, but nothing else, and that one there. Excellent, they're actually working. Something's working in the car. Fantastic. So yeah, that's starting to get quite cracked. Novelty to have a little mirror, isn't it, in the back of the car, so you can check your hair before you get out. And look at that for a handrest. Look how highly sprung it is. Whoa, I'll take another finger off of that. Ah, feels quite nice, just swinging along like that. Is this one highly sprung like that? Yes, it is. Lovely. See, the lever's a bit damaged there. It's very nice back here. Okay, and I've always noticed that this light here works, but yet the driver's one doesn't, this one. So I'm going to just pop it out and see if it's the bulb that's gone. Right, so you just yank it out using fingers, you can pop out, and then you have to use a little screwdriver to just force this plastic bit out the back, and I can clearly see there that it's not intact anymore in the middle. So I'm just going to get the readings from this, see if I've got one. Right, I haven't got them. I've got 12 volt 5 watts, which would be good enough for testing, but I need to get myself some 12 volt 3 watt ones. So it's quite easy to pop back in. You just have to lift the rubber lip over the plastic here. So I've got the 5 watt in here. Just for the moment, I've just noticed that the two on that side are not working either, so hopefully they might be lamps like this one. Here goes. Yay! Excellent. Little touch just like that, and nice. Right, I'm going to see what's going on the other side. This one is the front door. This is the rear. The rear was a real pig to get out. Had to use the screwdriver and get right in there. So let's go to ohms, and let's see if we have anything through these lamps. No, so that's gone. That one's gone. Let's check this one. And that one's gone as well. Excellent. Right, I'm just going to put in the other 5 watt one, and then I'll swap them over when I get the 3 watt proper bulbs. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to epoxy these together. Can you see they've completely cracked open? You can still squish them in. You can see that this is broken, but yeah, it's still in here. It's just incredibly hard. So I'm just going to epoxy it all together. Hopefully then it will just give it a little bit of strength to allow it to go back together nice and easy. Now, I measured the lamp from the back one, and there is actually continuity through it. So I think it's just the fact that it's been oxidized a little bit here. So I'm just going to epoxy it all together and scrape this, get rid of the oxidization, and then hopefully it will work. Either that, or maybe there's a problem with the actual wiring on the back door. It's possible. Right, so I've glued up the lights that go on the edge there. I've got to wait for the glue to go off. The epoxy seems to be taking ages today for some reason. So now I'm starting to put the panels back on. I've got my son helping me. So what we've done is we've just used the fabric adhesive stuff to make sure that this waterproofing, because all the doors have like waterproofing, because it's ripped off that at the moment, and if I didn't have that, what happens is these panels would all get sopping wet because they're made out of wood. So that keeps the water from here, well, from the outside out off the away from the wood. The annoying thing about this is, if you have a look here, I mean, it's lovely fixings that they've done, but they've got so much movement. Yeah, so when it comes to here, there's just tiny little slots that it goes in, but there's just so much movement here. I'm just wondering if there's a way we can kind of cheat the system, but I suppose these are not put on perfectly, so even if I make them perfectly in the middle, it's not going to you know, I don't know how to do it. Maybe I have to get a thin little tool and just gently push them up and down, because I remember I had a real nightmare when I was trying to work on them before. But it should be easier because there's 2 of us. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to start to put the panels back on. Yay, we've got something back on. Excellent. And we managed to, it's so much easier with 2 people, because Ben was underneath guiding it, and then when he got the metal things in the hole, all I had to do was whack each of them in, and they popped in nicely. So all we now need to do is put the surround on here, put the big arm rest back on, and that will pull it all together and put the light back in here. Now look at that. Proper teamwork. Obviously this still needs to be revarnished, you can see up there, But look, it's all there. Oh, it feels so nice, big and chunky. Oh, how good is that? And the LED's working, but I'm not sure. They're a little bit long. I think I might try to get some better LEDs, because can you see it's just sticking down a little bit here, but that will give off a nice light in the at night time. But it's a little bit too long, which I don't like. I'm very happy with that. It actually makes the door feel less rattly and more solid, which is good. Excellent. I'm not sure if the cigarette lighters are supposed to light up. I don't even know if that cigarette lighter is working. Well, we can worry about that again at another stage. Oh, window's working. Excellent. Right, okay, on to all the other doors now. Ta-da! Another door panel done. It's so much easier with two people, and you can see the light lighting up down there. It looks just beautiful, really does, and nice and solid and chunky. Look at that now. Brilliant. Right, I am going to try to put the little, you know, the little red door lights on that I glued earlier, and then I'm calling it a day for today. So I've got some bulbs from Halfords and also from eBay as well. So I've got plenty of bulbs now, and that's that one put back up here. So now I'm just going to do the door ones here. It is a few days later, and yeah, it has finally set. I'm not going to force it too much, but it has set. It looks a mess, but it was broken before. So let's get these ones in and see what's going on. I've got plenty more bulbs here, but I couldn't get the 3-watt ones, but funny enough, the ones that came out of this side were 5-watt. So should it be 5-watt? Should it be 3-watt? I don't know. But these ones here are 12-volt, 5-watt. It's just going to use a bit more energy. That's all. It's going to be fine. Maybe a slight little bit brighter. And I've got loads of panel ones from eBay. So I've got loads of these ones here for the dashboard, and loads of these tiny, tiny, tiny little ones here. So obviously it's much cheaper getting them off eBay. But then the good thing about going to Halfords is you can physically see the size of the ones you're going to buy. So these ones here. So I've got loads now to get on with. Right, so I've got them both in now. This one went in no problem because the plastic bit's quite small in relation to this, but this was a real headache because you have to get this and you have to really push the plastic around, you know, this rubberized plastic. But what happened is the bulb fell out a couple of times, and then by taking it in and out, basically it ended up cracking again. So what I did is I got a staple, I flattened it out, and I used a soldering iron and I melted it into the middle of the plastic there to bridge the gap, and also this side here, so the staple is towards the middle of the plastic. And it does feel strong-ish, but I know a few months down the line or years down the line, if that lamp goes, it's going to be a nightmare and it will just crack again. So I have to look into replacements. I'm wondering if this will be a prime opportunity for a 3D printer, because obviously I've got zero skills on them, especially to do with the designing, but I'm thinking this would be very forgiving, because it doesn't matter if it's a millimetre bigger or shorter, it doesn't matter if this is a millimetre bigger or shorter, even the thickness isn't too important, because these things can be bent around the place, and I think a 3D printed part there would work perfectly. And it doesn't matter if, for example, it's white or grey, because look, it doesn't matter, the light's coming through this side here. So I think that would be, in this instance, a perfect opportunity for a 3D printer. So maybe I might look into that. Let's get these fitted. It's the little things. So that one there, and that one there. Now check out this side. That one there, and that one there. And they do go off when the door's closed. So watch this. If I close this door and this door, you will still see that it's lit up in here, yeah, because the doors on the other side are still open. But watch this. So now when we go to close this, you will see that the light will go out. Ready? There you go, it's gone. Yeah, and now open it up again. Boo! And it's the same on this side. So it's going to be off now. On, off. Fantastic. And look at this. Ready? So it's off now. So let's go to, so I'm just filming my phone today. If I go to here, ta-da, and turn it off, ta-da, and check this out. If I go to mirror here it will turn it on up here, but look, it's also on a sensor where if you go to close it, it turns off. So even if it's on, it's not going to be on all the time. So there must be something up inside here that knows when it's on. There must be some little contact hidden somewhere. I like that. It's so good. And that there just looks so nice. But now just reach over here and put it all out, and now everything will be on everywhere. So good, so good. So that is it for this video. The dog didn't come back, so this is now, is it the third day? I've just noticed there's 2 massive wood pigeons on that fence down there. So the dog didn't come back. So hopefully the dog has found its way home now, or somebody's taken it home, and what a lovely dog it was. So I'm really happy with the progress in this video here. I think it's all just a little touches like that for me, you know, little things like that I really like. So yeah, that is it for this video. So the next video now is going to be putting on the front panels. I still need to get the carpets in, I still need to feed the seats, and yeah, just plenty of little bits to be getting on with. But yeah, we're getting closer to getting the interior back together, and it is looking mighty fine. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a massive thumbs up, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching.
You said it was the last time, but you keep coming back to tell me sorry that you take back all the things you said just to hurt me. Our love just went cold, but I'm still burning. Our love just went cold. Why? I keep on making the same mistake. I always let you back in when I begin to get myself together again. You are back once more, like everything's the same. I tried to build my walls up, but you're taking them down. It's tearing me apart, I can't pretend. Now I have to get over you again.